undergone sa Cardinal Santos?
Again?
Yung pong official na findings na sinabi ng doktor sa inyo, ano po yung sinabi nilang diagnosis?
No, it's negative for... they had the suspicion, but they had, I said, this specimen taken out from both the esophageal tube and somewhere here.
So Barrett's po ba rin to? Okay,
Pwede tayo mag-inuman ngayon.
Sir, don't
Totoo.
dare, sir.
I can give you a run for your money. Hindi ka maniwala si doktor, mamatay ka man kasi hindi ka mag-inom. Kaya lang, just to satisfy the family's urgings. Pero kung ako, I do not need... mabuhay lang ako hanggang mamatay, okay na sa akin yan. I don't care. Hindi lang sa pamilya ko, pero ako, I don't care.
But did Miss Hanalet and Kitty, were they worried?
Again?
Were the families are worried? Si Miss Hanalet and then sila Kitty, were they worried during the time that the doctors had a suspicion?
Na wala naman siya suspicion. You just want a retake. Okay. Hindi naman sinabi sa akin na nothing serious actually. But they said, if you have time, and there was no other time, except I had to do it in a jiffy.
Okay.
So how long would it take? So about 1 hour. So I stayed there for 1 hour.
Sir, thank you for your time, sir.
Maghanap nga ako ng sakit. Mabot pa ako ng Hong Kong. Wala makita.
Sir, kumusta naman yung pagpunta niyo sa Hong Kong over the weekend? Once and for all, baka gusto niyo pong i-clarify. Maraming nagtatanong.
Ma'am, actually, hindi kita na-intindi.
Sir, kumusta yung pagpunta niyo sa Hong Kong over the weekend? Family visit lang po talaga.
Sa Hong Kong, magsama ka sa akin, nagbili ako ng mga pantalon. Kasi mga pantalon ko, puro itim na lang lahat. I bought some shirts, but as you would notice, I am practically in Barong most of the time. So whenever I go back to Davao for a short rest, wala akong damit na kasi tumaba na ako. Bulging yung tummy ko. So one size bigger ako ngayon.
Sir, a few days na lang bago mag-file ng certificates of candidacy. Sir, first question, sir, do we see a major revamp sa cabinet?
I'm not sure, but there will be guys running for the national office. Castriciones, Dar, and Harry Roque, I think, is really running. Kasi hindi ko maintindihan. So I'm giving him that budget of safety. Kasi sabi niya mag-resign siya because he didn't know that I was in the hospital. So he was not informed. Hindi naman kailangan sabihin ko lahat eh. There are things which are limited to the immediate members of the family. And of course, if there is something wrong, then I would communicate with the cabinet members. Nothing of that sort happened. So, parang nasabi niya na hindi ako pumunta. Hindi naman siya nagtanong. So he felt that he was placed in a bad light. Parang he was lying. But the fact of the matter is that he did not ask us. And maybe at that time, I was not in a position to tell him also. And sabi niya mag-resign siya, sabi ko, di sige. Then immediately, namili na kaagad ako ng replacement. But I cannot tell you now kung sino sila. Alan Peter Cayetano is also running. And Si Mamonjong sa TESDA is also running. Si I don't know about the others. I'm not sure. I'm not in a position to state with certainty. So I might not as well skip it in the meantime. Let them do their announcements.
Sir, Sir, si SAP po, tatakbo.
Sama si Sap. Sap. Boboto kayo kay Sap.
Butante.
Siguro doha. Boto kayo. Why? No reason at all. You know, SAP is not Chinese. Ito si SAP is a member of the Tesoro clan ng Batangas. Ang tatay niya Chinese. Pero siya, Tesoro ito. Yung barong. Yan siya. He is Bong Tesoro, but go. I think he will run. Pero you'll have a friend there in the Senate na makabiro ninyo. And baski yung biscuit na lang pang kape, mayroon yan siya sa opisina niya. I think Bong is running. In Murphy's Law, anything can happen, but I believe he is really running. Tapos, sino pa ba? Isa pa ba yung mudagan? Si Francis. Ito ang nanghinayang ako. You know Francis as a mayor. Kilala ninyo, he's a very good administrator. Yung lahat ng disaster from the Mayon was always my point man. He was my only contact from the outside world, not even Bongo. Because Bongo is overworked. So usually kung may mga crisis gano'n, siya yung nauna. Siya yung unappreciated na trabahante ng gobyerno. He's a graduate of Lasal. Mautak yan. Hindi lang mayabang. Pero you would have a good, saka honest, ayaw ng yan.
Sir, on Secretary Cayetano, since it's foreign affairs, without really preempting, yung baka may nakikita na kayong candidates as kapalit?
To replace?
Opo.
I have a name. He agreed, but he did not authorize me to name him now. Maybe siya na lang. Pag gusto na niya, para baka maalaroke tayo. Because sabi niya, hindi siya takbo. Tapos tatakbo siya. Tapos ngayon naman, hindi. Ang problema ko, sa totoo lang, kaya may na-target na rin ako na to take his place. I did my homework very fast. Yung sabi niya na hindi siya tatakbo. Namili na kaagad ako ng siguro I'll assign in temporary or an added function. Total tiga-announce mo lang yan. Si Sal Panelo with all her sartorial elegance. Medyo maganda siguro tingnan.
Spokes, as a spokesperson po, or DFA secretary?
Ah.
As a spokesperson po ba? O? Boss
I'm going to, but if I'm going to reorganize, press secretary. Kanya lahat. Kang Panelo, if tingnan muna natin, kung makakuha ako ng presidential legal counsel, and if he likes the job, kaya naipit nga si Roque. It's not my fault, actually. Sabi niya, tatakbo siya, hindi siya tatakbo. Tapos sabi ko, namili na kaagad ako. So, para walang paralysis sa flow ng functions. Ngayon, hindi na siya tatakbo. Hindi ko na alam kung saan siya ilagay. Kasi, paano siya eh. Ako naman, I did not wait a minute longer to, sabi ko, ikaw dyan, ikaw muna dyan, ikaw muna dyan. So, nasabi ko na doon sa mga tao. So, they are expecting, especially the one who's gonna replace Cayetano. Namili na kaagad ako ng tao. Ma'am.
Hello, sir. Sir, I'm Janeline Kabiling from Manila Bulletin. Sir, saan po mapupunta si Secretary Andanar kung magkakaroon ng Office of the Press Secretary? Magiging political advisor po ba ninyo siya, kapalit ni Tolentino?
Again, hindi kita makuha.
Sir, si Secretary Andanar, saan po siya mapupunta kung magkakaroon ng bagong Office of the Press
He will
Secretary?
remain a consultant.
Consultant.
Consultant sa ano? Well, there's so many things that they have to reconfigure their programs sa PTB4. Maraming baguhin dyan siguro to make it more responsive as a sounding board for the Republic of the Philippines. Parang gano'n.
Sir, si General Bautista mapupunta sa DSWD. Sino na po ang NFA administrator na bago?
Wala pa, but Rolly Bautista is DSWD. Ngayon, ang NFA, I'm looking for somebody else. I'm looking for a Chinese who's been there in the business maybe 20 years. I'll just ask him to, in the meantime, to be the NFA. Alaman nila ang negosyo na yan.
Sir, some opposition groups, including the Vice President, have appealed to you to focus on addressing inflation rather than other activities, including accusing them of ouster plot. What can you say about this, sir?
Ganito yan. Listen to me very carefully. Alam mo, kung magsira ka, that's why I said kulang. You know, right after World War II, everything was in shambles. Manila City was the most devastated, reduced to rubble. So, ang America started to help after the war, but because of their guilt doon sa Hiroshima pati Nagasaki, they had this Marshall Plan. And they extended that to dito sa East, sa Japan. Tayo, tingi-tingi, but what really happened was also yung Reparations Commission. That was the office that handled yung reparations, yung bayad ng damage ng Japan sa atin. And it was there for a long time. I think it was Balao who headed it after his senatorial stint. Ako naman hindi ako ito lang ang simple. while they were rebuilding yung ibang nations, tayo rin. Pero in the process, sabi nila na number 1 tayo, na second to Japan, then third, fourth, fifth. Do you know why? Bakit naunahan tayo ng Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei? Because God gave them oil which was denied us. Kaya kita mo, pag sabi price increase, kinabukasan ang pandesal, susunod yan. Pag sinabing price increase sa oil, it's now 154 or 156 per barrel. Tataas lahat yan. Ang Indonesia may reserve. Malaysia may reserve. Brunei is awash with oil. Tayo wala. So every time magbili tayo ng gasolina, you use our savings. Ang gross domestic product is simply income yan ng isang bayan. Pag magtaas yung gasolina, wala tayong buffer. Sila kung magtaas, if they import, dagdagan lang nila na yung production, may kita sila. Now, let me remind you that the seat you are, the chair that you are sitting there, and the mic that you're using talking to me, and the floor that you step in, plus the lights and all of these things, plus the flag, is oil. Oil yan. Alam mo bakit? They are manufactured, crafted, configured in factories. Ang mga kotse ganon rin. Pati ang hinahawakan ninyo na laptop. It's the machine that drives the power to make those equipment oil. Kaya pag oil bukas tataas talaga lahat ito. But there are some factors. First is, ditong second is the rice plus isda. That can be remedied. I think Sunny Dominguez will come up with some. Pero kung magtanong kayo bakit tayo Pilipino, palagi ninyo, you crucify government, you crucify everybody. Think of oil. Pag sinabi, there will be increase in oil, bukas, susunod lahat yan. That drives inflation. Coupled with mahal ng bigas, mahal ng isda, mahal lahat. So you have inflation. Pero kung may oil tayo, may absorb natin. Kaya Indonesia, Malaysia. Wala sila dyan. Kasi kung walang oil, meron man sila. May i-import sila. Kasi reserva nilang oil nila. That is what is ayaw itong mga, sabi ko, kaya mahina. Wala mo lang maipakita what causes oil. They cannot reduce it in simple terms. Maintindihan ng tao that every time Shell will increase the price, inevitably, everything that you buy. Kung ganon kayo, if you're talking a Filipino, you must learn how to convey your message or to have a discourse with them. Sabi ko kaya, mahina. Hindi maka...
Mr. President, good afternoon. Speaking of oil price increase, totoo po ba na planong isuspend ng inyong administrations ang excise tax on oil?
Again?
Yung buwis po sa langis, excise tax because of oil price increase, plano po bang isuspend ito ng administration?
Maybe. Sunny is talking idea of 2 something, alisin. 2 pesos tapos. Pero yung bigas, Adre, wala naman talagang, it was a hysteria built by itong mga red, itong bigas. Kung gusto mong bili ng bigas, magbili ka kasi 5 truck, may bigas man talaga. But because of the hype, because while they were shouting in the streets that there's no food, we were all alone, we were already importing so many tons of rice. So yung may iba dyan, fish, and itong babaan mo ang bigas talaga. Alam mo ba na ang mas mahal ang isda ngayon kaysa karne? Mas mahal ngayon ang isda kaysa karne. And to think that sabi niyo fish is the part of the staple food, ulam. Mas mahal ngayon ang isda. Because of what? Supply. Overfishing. Climate change. And everything. Ngayon dapat pag-explain sa people, not in abstract terms. Kasi malilito tao.
Sir, may mga kumakalat ng balita na si Ginoong Michael Yang ay Presidential Advisor po ninyo on Economic Affairs. Can you clarify or confirm that?
No, it's not that. Michael
Yang.
Michael Yang was there in Davao 20 years ago. As a matter of fact, he is he is often seen with the ambassador of China. Si Xiao is a military man. And they have the most elaborate intelligence network. Mas mahusay pa sa atin dito. Would you think a military man, iyan yung mga incheck na hinuhuli nila, akala nila mayaman na may Mercedes-Benz, tapos imbintuhan nila. Kasali yung pinatay nila. Di ba, nirelease ko na yung, release mo na po? Yung Matrix, yun Sir Asierto. Hindi niyo nakita yan? O nakita na ninyo? Ito yung Matrix. Ito yung nagbili ng AK-47, 1,000 plus na dumating sa NPA. Ito. Ito, mga graduate ito ng criminologist. The dossier is there. Can have it. Ito yung nagbili. They are out of the service because nag-import ito ng iba-iba ba ito? O marami? Isa-isa lang ito. Kasi wala namang ibang file. Pabuhat og file mong daghan. Sayin ninyo. Din-classify ko yan.
So, hindi po ninyo siya naging Presidential Advisor on Economic Affairs, Mr. President?
Cannot be, because he's a Chinese. Advisor yan siya na, even when the Premier of China was here, he was part of the entourage. Akala ng mga gagong polis na yan, may makuha sila. Yung iba, pinapatay nila, gaya yung Koreano. Ito yung mga in-check na may mga Mercedes-Benz na tinatarget nitong mga yawa na yan. Kaya sinabi ko, bagkamali kayo dyan, bubuto kayo dyan. Sabi ko, he is you do not belittle the Chinese intelligence. Dito kapon si Xiao.
Lastly, Mr. President, are you giving your blessings for Sap Bongo to run as for senator? Binibigyan niyo na po ba siya ng basbas na tumakbo ng senador?
Takbo ka.
Si
Ikaw na lang sana rin.
si Sap Bongo po.
Basbas.
Apo. Blessings.
Bang pagkuha ka sa kalat ng tubig. I said he has been a faithful assistant. Ang istorya niyan, my original AD campus a military man when I was mayor. While they were playing basketball, yung aide ko, nag-stroke, namatay. So doon sa ospital, nag-abot-abot kami, he offered, sabi niya, kung gusto mo mayor, ako na lang muna. I will act as your aide. In the meantime, pero yung kabarkada niya, kabarkada ko, lolo niya, yung mga may-ari ng Tesoro Printing. That's the biggest printing company in Mindanao. So, kaya nitong tumakbo. Kasi sa propaganda, wala naman siyang gastos. All he has to do is to tell him that he might be having a Chinese surname, but the mother is a Tesoro, who is related sa mga Tesoro ng Batangas.
Sino po ang napipisil ninyong papalit kay Secretary Bongo?
Saan gano'n siya? Sige ka lang tawa dyan. Wala man, tindig na siguro. Sana yung maganda dyan. No, ang papalit kasi sa akin, babae, ayaw ko ng lalaki na. If I had my choice, at that time kasi I was just in a quandary to kung sinong magpapalit kay Jimboy. Yan siya, baka gusto niya maging aide.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Sir, good evening. Joyce Balancho from DZMM.
Ikaw na yun, ma'am.
Sir, going back lang kay incoming DSW Secretary Rolando Bautista, some senators are expressing apprehensions on your decision to appoint another military man. Senator Drilon even said that we must not militarize the bureaucracy. What is your reaction to this?
Ma'am, may gawain ako sandali, ha? Kaya nilalamangan mo ako. Pakikuha ka ng silya. Ako, mabuti pa kayo kaya naka... Okay. There are misgivings among the senators and congressmen that I am appointing another ex-military man in the cabinet. Well, I'll tell you what. In my years of service sa gobyerno, alam mo, yung bureaucracy, and I don't mean to offend them, not all. Pero yung iba kasi, especially if you want a decision right there and then, and you have to cut corners, but not illegal. Marami kasing, for Joseph, debatihin ka pa. That's what they do. They debate with you, and day after tomorrow, nandyan na naman, daldal na naman, daldal. So, kaya dito sa DSWD, the acting chief, but she didn't know that I was in Holy Ghost. Sabi ko, kasi they're giving all the funds, yung mga senior citizens for peace sa mayor. Pati gusto ng mga mayor na i-preposition yung relief goods in times of crisis, intended relief goods in times of crisis, doon sa bodega nila. So sabi ko sa kanya, look, why don't you just give the money directly? It is national funds. It is national relief goods. Kung ibigay mo yan sa mayor, dandahan mawala yan. I know. I've been mayor. At saka yung pera, i-devolve mo. Sabi ko, masama yan. It's not safe there. Kayo na mismo ang magbigay. Have the list validated by DILG. Anong listahan ibigay sa inyo? DILG, DSWD, local, i-validate ninyo. Kayo lang. Kasi yung mga mayor, ang piliin nila yung kanilang tao lang, supporters. Hindi makasali. Tapos sabi ko, once the list is validated, kayo ang magbigay sa pera. And in times of emergencies, kayo ang mag-release sa goods. Maybe the mayor will help in the distribution. Pagdebate pa, at tapos, hindi raw kasi sa COA circular. What do you mean by COA? COA is a different entity. We run the executive department. I do not want COA interfering of how I distribute the goods and money to the people. For as long as they reach the intended beneficiaries, COA has nothing to do with it except to audit. Huwag nila akong turuan kung paano ko gastusin yung pera. In what way? Because I said, I want just to be fair. Kasi kung ibigay mo sa mayor, ang bigyan niya yung mga supporters niya, in times of crisis, ang bigyan niya, partisan. So this is not a place where you have that luxury of choice. It must be given to the intended persons who would need it.
So, sir, choosing retiring Army Chief Bautista, it's not a form of militarizing the bureaucracy. You totally
Hindi,
deny
gusto
this.
ko talaga kasi isang utos lang nagagawa. Just like si Mato, when I said you fix the Boracay in 6 months' time. Sabi ko kay Del Rosario, General, gawan mo ako ng bahay about 100 in 1 month. Nagawa. May problema, meron talaga. Sometimes they cut corners, but you'll just have to defend them because it's your order. Hindi naman kasi magsunod-sunod ka dito, it takes you forever. Ang gobyerno is really, really, really very slow.
Another question, Mr. President. Have you chosen the next Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and what is your expectations to the one who will replace CJ Teresita de Castro?
Ang next Chief Justice, I'm still toying with so many names. Ang bagong, if there's any vacancy there, I don't know if there's a vacant one there. Kung may vacancy, we'll fill it up with good men. And there are few good men in this planet. We'll have to search them far and wide.
How about Sir Carpio? Are you okay with Justice Carpio as the next Chief Justice?
I will decide that when I cross the bridge.
Sir, another question. You mentioned that Secretary Cayetano will also be running for the next elections. For what position, sir?
Yes, I think he's running for congressman sa distrito niya.
meron na po ba tayong napipili, sir, na papalit sa kanya sa DFA? Will it be a
Meron na
diplomat?
ako, pumayag na siya. But the problem is, I said, I forgot to ask him if I have the authority to announce his name. He might resent it, maybe announce it to his family first, and he might also want to ask advices from other people. So, wag na muna.
Diplomat po ba, sir? Yung napili ninyo, diplomat. A diplomat.
Anyway, yes.
Okay. Sir, another question. Is it true that you underwent a checkup in Hong Kong?
Ma'am?
Hong Kong, sir. Is it true that you underwent medical checkup while you were in Hong Kong?
Well, I'll tell you a story. Mind if I cross my... Dito sa Pilipinas, negative ako. Pagpunta ko sa Hong Kong, nag-positive ako. So sabi ko sa doktor, ano ang sakit ko? Sabi niya, battery syndrome. Baka may nainom ako na nahigop na yung sa baterya. Kaya nasunog. Battery syndrome. You ask me now, what is it? You ask me. Ay, siya.
Sir, to clarify, ano po yun? What is it?
This is battery syndrome because may positive, negative na. Kaya ng baterya.
Pero sir, saan po kayo positive? Yung sa Hong Kong, you mentioned that you were tested positive.
Doon sa Hong Kong. Alam ko kung bakit ginawa ko yan? Kaya kung dito ko sabihin negative ako, sabihin mo ng mga kalaban ko, positive ako. Kung sabihin ko rin positive ako, sabihin, drama lang yan, negative yan. So, gawa-gawa lang ako ng istorya.
Sir, thank you.
Good evening, Mr. President. I am Tuesday New of DZWB GMA 7. Just to clarify it, sir, yung sinasabi niyo po bang positive kayo ng test sa Hong Kong, nagpa-medical test po kayo doon, and it turned out na positive yung nakitang growth sa inyo? Is that it, Mr. President?
That you believe that I had a check-up in Hong Kong?
We are asking you, sir.
The joke is on you. Bakit ako magpag-check up doon? Namili ako ng damit, kaya wala na akong damit.
Okay, so hindi kayo nagpa-check up. Okay, another question, sir. Do you have plans of visiting Boracay sa reopening po? Why is that so, sir?
Wala. Basta sabi ko lang, improve it, clean it, and when it's ready, give it back to them.
And last question on my part, sir. When are you going to go to Kuwait, sir? If you have. Kuwait, sir. Yung visit nyo sa Kuwait, matutuloy po ba?
I have a nandito yung UAE ambassador. They are awaiting for my visit. Then I have to attend the ASEAN Singapore. Then I have to attend the ASEAN I do not really know. I might decide not to attend at all. Pagod na ako. Pagod ako. Pagod ako sa travel. Especially Kuwait. That's halfway around the world.
Okay, sir.
Pagod ako.
That would be all, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And we shall now proceed with the photo-taking opportunity. We will have four batches. First batch will be